why you should watch Little Women 2019 again.
So Little Women follows the story of four sisters, the March sisters, as they each kind of explore their own paths in life, and multiple events ensue from there, and they all kind of get entangled together. So Alex, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when I was watching this, I kind of was waiting for that very cliche movie feel to it. You know, that sort of like, oh, that rise in like inspiration or just something that to grasp onto emotionally. And it didn't really come for, honestly, a long, long time, like about 75% of the movie. And then finally, as you get more entrenched in the story and more involved in all the lives, then it starts to unravel and then you really get that big impact. And it just, like, I don't want to give too much spoiler if you haven't seen it for a while, maybe you forgot how it went. So this is your opportunity to watch it again. But it was a slow burn, but good.
Definitely, it's a movie that it just doesn't. There's no real huge feeling you get while you're watching it, right? The story is pretty like it feels to me, I don't know, neutral like the whole time. You know, it just feels like it's a pretty ongoing story. You just feel like you're connecting with characters throughout the whole thing, and I don't know, it just seems very real and natural to me. I like the way the story was made in that sense, and just like you said, pretty much only towards like 25% of the end of the movie, that's where you really start feeling those big differences. You know,
It's very still. It's comforting in a way, even though the story is kind of emotional, but it's comforting. It's a nice slow burn, but a decent watch. I definitely would recommend if you guys haven't seen it yet, because we'll start off by talking about the acting. Phenomenal once again. Saoirse Ronan as the lead, a very strong female lead from in another Greta Gerwig movie. So Alex, what did you think about her?
I mean, yeah, it's honestly every single person's performance was really good. Like that's the thing that stood out to me the most when I was watching this. Like it's, we said, story great, but man, these performances are good. Like actually, probably one of my favorite performances that I've seen in the last maybe 25 movies that I've watched. It stood out amongst all. And I mean, it goes to show, you know, Emma Watson, I cannot pronounce her name.
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse Ronan, thank you. Florence Pugh, who honestly was unrecognizable for me back in 2019. I mean, she changed so much in that time and done so many incredible roles since. Timothée Chalamet was great as well. I mean, and then you throw in Meryl Streep in the middle of all of that, and you know it just gets even better and better and better. Laura Dern's there as well. So like, it's just a crazy cast, and then Bob Odenkirk shows up too. So it's like
Shows up for a small role.
yeah, and it's just really just phenomenal acting.
definitely. There's something about Florence Pugh's acting that I can't get over the I don't know, the upside down smile that she does all the time. It's so iconic for her. I don't know. It's in Midsommar as well when like throughout the movie, but I love her upside down smile in this movie specifically. It's that acting, that upside down smile just means so much. You can get so much meaning behind it when she's upset, when she's happy, specifically in certain scenes when I won't go into too much detail, but there's like, you know, like a love kind of thing going on, you know, and it's phenomenal acting. Like you said it best, and Timothy right now is being recognized as an incredible actor, and this really shows quite a lot of his acting skills.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't get a nomination for like a supporting actor, because I don't know. I know he's not a huge part of the movie. There's not many male actors that really are pronounced in this movie, but he's pretty much there while they're together for quite a good amount of time.
So I just pulled up the nominations for that year, and similarly to, like, we just did a Barbie episode. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Similarly to Margot Robbie, a great sixth, because that was Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, who won. Then Tom Hanks, Anthony Hopkins, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci.
Yeah, it's not
So
even. Yeah,
It was the whole
It's-
Irishman year, and
yeah, that's a tough year for all of it.
could he have snuck in? Sure, I can make a small argument for it, but a good sixth man for sure. 'Cause he's phenomenal, and he's been proving it more and more since Little Women, you know, and Dune, and I haven't seen Wonka yet, but I hear he's pretty decent himself. You know, the movie is maybe, but yeah, to me, Florence Pugh, like you guys have said, is really the standout. I think she's one of the strongest actors working today. Yeah, she's in the MCU now. We've seen what that can do to some actors. Hopefully, she's gonna avoid the whole MCU damage. But yeah, her upside down smile is just, at this point, it's iconic. Let's be real. It's
Iconic's the word.
unreal.
Yeah, and speaking of iconic, we'll talk about again. We're doing another Gerwig masterpiece. Honestly, this is easily her best work. Incredible. How'd you guys feel about it?
I loved it. I honestly, this movie was, it like you said, it's a comforting watch. She did such an incredible job of making you feel like you're in that era, like in that time period. You know, like whether it's the production design, the script, the way they speak, the way they move, everything was really beautifully well done, and just encapsulates what it was like living in that kind of century, right? And it's yeah, I think Greta Gerwig outdid herself. This is, like you said, I think her best role is her best like movie out there.
Yeah, like there's one specific shot from like outside from the window, and like there's snow on the ground, and it just makes it look so much like it takes place in that era. Like I'm thinking of TV shows like Little House on the Prairie and stuff like that. And it's like super iconic to, you know, the small house in the middle of an open field with snow everywhere. It's just so beautiful to look at, and yeah, it's by far her strongest work, I think.
I mean, it's a complex story and not, you know, super straightforward, and to be able to present it really well and to really, yeah, immerse the viewer in that time period, which is extremely important to the story, obviously, because it was written in 1869, it was?
Something like
that, yeah. And so there's been many adaptations of it in the time, and this is, I think a lot of people will agree, this is the best adaptation of the book. Yeah, credits where credits due, right? Yeah. I mean, she just continues. We said in the Barbie episode, she continues to pretty much just put out like great movie after great movie. Like, she has not missed yet. I honestly don't think she will. She takes a lot of passion and pride into the work she does. She picks very specifically what she wants to do, and if it's not up to her par, she won't do it, and that's great.
I don't know if you guys are aware of what her next project is. It was announced recently. She's working with Netflix to make a Narnia readaptation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's the next realm we're gonna explore. And I mean, with her production design skills,
yeah,
my God,
that's gonna be
I'm really excited. I think she's gonna do great in that.
So, talked about actors, talked about directing, music in this. I want to start this one off because, to be honest, the music wasn't anything particularly great, and it didn't. To me, it really didn't matter. And I actually really appreciate the fact the music didn't really impact my emotions towards the movie, meaning that the performances were that much better, because usually that's what happens. Music carries certain weight to scenes to make us feel a certain way. This one, other than maybe the very end, there's a certain piece that's pretty good. Other than that,
Yeah. No, like I honestly didn't really notice the score like at all while watching. It was kind of just there in a way. There's like one song that I like kind of recognize the melody to from like compilations on YouTube. But other than that, yeah, you put it great. Like the performances is really what we have to concentrate on here. And the score is kind of just, yeah, it's just there. It was nominated for Best Original Score. It lost to The Joker. So like that's not very surprising. But yeah, no, it's I don't want to say bare bones, but it's there.
Yeah, it's like I think the only really standout for me was the when Laurie and Joe are on the hill, kind of thing. I think that's literally like the title of it for the song too. It's pretty much the only one that I think that's the same
so,
one from the compilation. It's I think the only one that really stood out to me. But other than that, it's very like in the background. It doesn't really impact the way you experience the movie.
Yeah, perfectly said. But you know, music goes a long way, and it's not like we're not discrediting the music in this. It is good, but yeah, it's just one of those movies. The performance, the acting, the directing, all of it combined just makes a really enjoyable film that I would say is worth watching. But would you guys say you would watch it again?
Probably. Like we said, there's like one emotional climax in there. It definitely wouldn't hit the same knowing how it's coming and the build up to it. But yeah, I mean, it's just a comforting watch. Like honestly, I could see it as like almost a Christmas movie. Christmas does play like a pretty big role in the story, and winter is a big part of it. So I could see it rewatching it around the winter time, but nothing that like I need to rewatch is how I'd put it.
Fair. I think that's a pretty valid way of seeing it, because I think I'm pretty much along the same way. Like I would rewatch it if, for example, I wanted to see the acting. You know, like if I'm really just trying to rewatch it to watch the movie, I wouldn't necessarily want to. You know, it's a pretty fine story. It's a good story and everything, but there's nothing in specific that makes me want to rewatch it all the time, unless I want to basically see their acting, performances basically excel from Florence Pugh, Timothée Chalamet, everyone these like actors, because I think that's really just the biggest driving point. It's I think my biggest rewatch factor.
Perfectly said. Yeah, no, I agree on all fronts. No need to repeat it again. All right, now for the Oppenheimer score for this one. We did it in another Barbie episode. Does anybody want to start this one off?
You have something ready.
I don't have something ready, but I could just blurt out the first thing that comes to my mind.
Go for it.
So on the Oppenheimer score for Little Women, I'm gonna have to give it a Robert Oppenheimer. I'm gonna have to give it a Robert Oppenheimer. And what was her name? Kitty?
Yeah.
And Kitty, Love Special. 6 out of 10. It's like 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I'm gonna go with that.
You kind of stole what I was going for. I have a kitty out of Oppenheimer. Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I would say it's about probably 8 70 millimeters out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Very solid.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
All right, so we'll leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and go check out our Barbie episode or anything else on the channel if you want just our opinions on it. So we appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next one.